beet muscat. So it is nice to have association of the entire people of the entire Gulf region because they are very dedicated. But when you come to India, only you will see the difference of practice between the Gulf devotees and Indian devotees. I'm not putting down Indian devotees, but the practicing in India is all the more difficult than practicing in Qatar. So Qatar is an ideal place for breeding ground for Krishna consciousness is Gulf. Guru Maharaj used to say always. So anyway, nice association. So we'll already we are, I think, running 10 minutes late, I think. Because normally I used to get the link in the previous day. I even forgot to check with my mobile about it. Anyway, so we'll, anything else you want to say or anything, Prabhuji? Prabhu, thanks to you for this sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita. With that only I'm able to, we are having every Friday because you are the actually catalyst for Chaitanya Charitamrita class in ourselves. Because I told Shyam Sundar Prabhu, see Prabhu, so he's so consistent in running the class, and we should also start. So now we are having 6-7 devotees in the class, not much, but still, for us it's a good number. So we are continuing with the past almost 2 years now. We are having. We are in the 6th chapter actually, Madhya lila. Anyway, wherever you study, from whichever canto chapter you study, it's a nectar actually. You can pick up from anywhere and read anywhere. That is the beauty of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we will go into the Madhya lila, chapter 8, text number 71. So we will go into a small 2 minutes kirtan, then we will go into the class. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhatta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhu Para Jaya Prabhu Para Jaya Prabhu Para Jaya Prabhu Para Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Sarviti Yes, all glorious to all glory Shri Guru and Gaurav, all glory Shri Prabhupada, all glory Shri Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So, Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tadojaya Madhire Krishna Prayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhavadeshavya Bhavadi Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavadi Naristiti Mukam Karoti Vacharam Pamam Langete Yatrapatam Maharam Mande Paramanandam Maharam Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, Madhya lila, second book, chapter 18, verse number 71. Prabhu kahe kaya, aage kahara, raya kahe, dasya prema, sarva sadhya, sara. Prabhu kahe, the Lord said, eko hai, this is all right. Age kaha, or please speak more. Raya kahe, Ramananda Raya replied, Dasya prema, spontaneous love in humor or servitude. Sarva sadhya sara, the essence of perfection. So there are different levels of, if you say spiritualism, there are not only one level, there are many levels of this love. So if you see the further down that there are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after initiation exhibits 13 such type of mood, in Prema Rasa only. So here, Ramananda Rai was asked by the Lord, no, what is the level of Prema we are experiencing? normally we have started with when we initially started with the 9 types of level of this one devotional service. Shraddha, Sadhasanga, Bhajana Kriya, Ananta Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, and Prema. Prema is the ultimate in devotional service. Here, so is Ramananda Rai is asked. Even Ananda also, because the highest Ananda is Brahmananda. There is the highest ecstasy in Ananda also. So that's why when Narada Muni, Indra and Virochan goes to Narada Muni and ask which is true. He says first Annamaya Ghosha. So Virochan, everything is Annamaya. So Virochan got satisfied, he went away, but Indra was not. So what is better than Annamaya Ghosha? Pranamaya, Jnanamaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. Even in Anandamaya, there are different levels of Ananda. What we Manushya Ananda is the lowest, then Devananda, then Indra-Ananda, then Brahma-Ananda, then Paramananda. So ultimate in this is the Lord enjoys without even a speck of defect in his Ananda. Because whatever Ananda we experience is also limited by the 3 modes of material nature. So likewise, even Prema has got a different level of enjoyment. Here, he's asking, because Mahaprabhu knows everything, but normally he wants to give credit to the devotees, his devotees, like how Arjuna has taken credit for the Mahabharata war. So here also, he wants to elevate Ramananda Raya position here. Here he says, spontaneous loving service to the Lord is called devotional service with the intimate attachment between the servitor and the served. The intimacy is called mamata. Between the servitor and the served, there is a feeling of oneness. This mamata begins with dasya prema. Service is rendered to the master by the servant. Unless there is such a relationship, the loving affairs between the Lord and his devotees are not actually fixed. When the devotees feel the Lord is a master and render service to him, Krishna consciousness is awakened. This fixes the consciousness on a higher platform than the simple cognizance of love of Godhead. So it is very, very important that there should be 2 people existing for particular type of. So here he says, Krishna and Indira. This is the ultimate also, but still Mahaprabhu wants to explain to Ramananda Raya what are the different levels of love we are going to experience. Here the servitor relationship with the Lord. The relationship with the servitor and the master in a different level. If the master is good, the servant is very sincere. Like Kardamamuni and Devahuti. Shishursha means thousands of years Kardamamuni goes into tapas, and Devahuti was standing along with him and serving him throughout his tapas. So finally, when this one, sorry, Kardamamuni opened her eyes when we saw Devahuti. He was baffled. What are you doing? He said, I am serving him. He said, this is the, whatever austerity I performed is tucham. It is nothing when compared to service rendered. This is called the Shishrusha, and we say the ultimate in service. Without any expectation, the servant serves the master. So that is the kind of level we see in Bhagam. So here also, the relationship with the servitor relationship and the Lord himself is in a different footing, where there is some sort of what you call, there is a little missing. What missing we will see. So it is not complete in rasa. So here it is said that the highest platform is simple cognizance of love of Godhead. The Lord is my master. So that is the kind of relationship we are seeing. In the office and all, we see how we serve the master only for the salary. So we expect something from the master, and the master expects something from the employee. So there is a expectation which is based on the normal material relationship between the master and the servant. But master cannot protect us from all the calamities, but so also the servant cannot save himself from that kind of master. So, but here the master is a different person, Supreme Person of the Godhead. and a devotee is as pure as Kadamba Muni or this one. The relationship is totally different here. So the kind of relationship which we are developing here is purely on a transcendental platform. Although it is one of the best of love, but it is not the highest of love. That we see. So in the next sloka, Yannama Shruti Matrena Uman Bhavati Nirmalaha Tasya Tirtha Padakimva Dasanam Avishishyate. Here is said, a man becomes purified simply by hearing the holy name of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, whose lotus feet create the holy place of pilgrimage. Therefore, what remains to be obtained by those who have become his servant? This is a question from Srimad Bhagavatam 9.5.16 and is an admission by the great sage Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni, a caste Brahmana and a great yogi, used to hate Maharaja Ambarisha. When he decided to chastise Maharaja Ambarisha through his yogic power, he was chased by Sudarshana Chakra as Supreme Personality of Godhead. When things were settled, he said, when the holy name and Supreme Personality of Godhead is heard and by any person, that person is immediately sanctified. The Supreme Lord is the master of the devotees, and devotee under the shelter naturally comes to his own opulence. So here the story of Durvasa Muni and Ambarishi, how Sudarshana Chakra was given to the Lord to Ambarishi Maharaja. Ambarishi Maharaja, although the Maharaja was Chakravarti, was ruling the whole world, he never looked after his kingdom. The Chakra used to maintain everything in the law and order. So Durvasa Muni, when he cursed Ambarisha and through his mantra, he aimed at Ambarishi, the ghost, immediately cuts him, kills the ghost and started chasing the Muni to different lokas. He first goes to Indra, then Brahma, then even Shiva, finally to Lord Vishnu himself. Lord says this chakra has been owned by Ambarishi Maharaj. So the only recourse for you is to go to Ambarishi Maharaj and ask for apology. So when he comes and wants to follow the feet of Ambarishi, Ambarishi is such an elevated king. He doesn't want Durvasa Muni is a very elevated sannyasi also. So he immediately says that this is wrong, falling at my feet. So he says that this Sudarshana Chakra is chasing. So Ambarishi Maharaj has to pass away the Chakra. The Sudarshana Chakra is a very famous thing in Chennai. Everybody recites the Sudarshana Chakra when they are in trouble. So Sudarshana Chakra is such a powerful mantra. Immediately the thing was. At the time, Durvasa Muni understand my power against anybody is okay, but not against the devotee. He realizes. So that's why this quotation is given, attained by those who have become his servants. So when a person like Ambarishi Maharaj is totally dedicated to the Lord, for him, see, for Bhayam, because Bharatagraja said, there are 9 types of fear. And what is the Abhayam? Is the lotus feet of the Lord. That is what Bharatagraja finishes this sloka about 9 types of fear. So finally, the only shelter of the whole world is only the Lord himself. So we know through this sloka that Durvasa Muni word itself says a devotee is under the shelter naturally comes to its own opulence. Here 73 sloka says, Bhavantam evanucharam nirantara rasanta nihesha mano ritantaraha kadam ainkintaha nitya kinkaram parasya shishyami cha lata jivitam. By serving constantly, one is freed from all the material desires and is completely pacified. When shall I engage as a permanent eternal servant as always feel to have a joy, a perfect master. This is from Yamunacharya's Stotra Ratna. It is a repetition of that sloka, sloka number 43. By serving you constantly, one is free from all the material desires and completely pacified. When shall I engage in your permanent eternal servant and always feel joyful to have such a perfect master? So the service has to be continuous, complete. So otherwise, normally people do devotional service, especially in Chennai, we see the service to the Lord is not on especially on a Sunday, people don't do any puja like that. Like my father also used to give rest to the Lord, for probably to himself, I don't know. So Sunday will be a holiday to the Lord. But after joining ISKCON, when you see 365 days we serve the Lord, and this is the way Prabhupada has started, or Guru Maharaj has started, constant like Taila Dara, when you open the oil tap, it flows continuously, not the water tap. So the devotional service has to be constant in nature. So that's why this sloga from Yamunacharya's Stotra has been given. Text number 74, Prabhu kahe, Ega kicha, Age ara, Raya kahe, Sankhya prema, Sarva sadhya sara. Hearing this from Ramananda Raya, the Lord again requested him to go further. Replied to Ramananda Raya, replied, loving service to the Krishna is fraternity is the highest perfection. So as long as the loving service is rendered to the Lord in the master-servant relationship, there is some fear. But the servant is always afraid of the master, despite the intimacy of self-interest. So when the devotee is further advanced, he has nothing to fear. He considers the Lord and himself as an equal level. At such a time, the devotee is fully convinced that the Lord is a friend and cannot at all dissatisfied if the devotee lives with him on an equal level. This understanding is called Vishramba, that is devoid of respectful attitude. When this attitude is chosen, it becomes Sakya Prema, or love of Godhead in friendship. On this stage, there is a developed consciousness of equality between the Lord and the devotee. So, from the level of Dasya Rasa to Sakya Rasa. Sakya Rasa is so many examples can be given. Krishna and Arjuna, Uddhava and Krishna, all those things are in the Vishramba level. Vishramba level means there is no taboo here. And especially in South where I am reading, here it is Aishwarya Bhava. Vishramba, because here people would like to have relationship with the Lord in the other Aishwarya Bhava, not Vishramba Bhava. Because Vishramba Bhava means very simple attitude and everything, but Aishwarya means awe and reverence we approach the Lord. So that is the Bhava many people like here, because they don't like, they feel that Lord is cut above the normal human being. So we cannot have a relationship like a normal friend. So their attitude is totally different here. Even the relationship with the, when Arjuna realized that after the Vishwarupa, he says, I called you by the many names, Govinda, Gopala, like that. So when you call friends by nickname, so Arjuna feels very much sorry for what he has done to Krishna by calling him names. So, but here, Krishna puts everybody into illusion after this lila. If Arjuna understand he is the Supreme Personality Godhead fully, then there will not be any friendship relationship, because that's why they want to keep all these things, because Lord wants to put everything into illusion. Once the person develops some sort of awe and reverence, he doesn't want that. He wants to enjoy Arjuna's friendship in the fraternity. So he immediately puts Maya into play. So likewise, we see Devaki, when he was witnessing Krishna was about to leave for Dwaraka, at the time Uttara's this one, Drona's son Aswatthama aimed at Brahmastra. Then Krishna, then Pagi Pagi Mahavagin, very famous slogan from Bhagavatam. When Uttara was reciting, immediately Krishna comes back from the chariot, runs towards Uttara and saves the womb, of at the time it was Parikshit Maharaj in the womb. So at that time, all these things were watched by Devaki. Devaki, when she comes down and asks Krishna, so far I thought you were my aunt's son and everything. I had a different kind of a lookout for you. And when Abhimanyu was killed, you didn't come to the rescue. Then at the time when you were asking for, you didn't ask for any protection from me, Devaki, because you had you thought that I'm your relative. That side of me. Now Uttara has got a different attitude. She is totally surrendered devotee. That's why I saved Parikshit Maharaj. So everything has to, then immediately when Devaki realizes, oh, I have done a great offense against the Lord, immediately she is put into illusion by Krishna. Now Krishna wants to reveal Sadamaya and Nanda Maharaj. He doesn't want to reveal himself fully that he is the Supreme Personality. Then all these rasas will not have any mellows. So that's why Krishna wants to enjoy the rasas, so he puts people into illusion. So that is what Krishna plays with all the devotees. So here, text number 75 says, neither those engaged in the self-realization of appreciating the Brahman reflections of the Lord, nor those engaged in the devotional service, while accepting the Supreme Personality of Godhead as master, not those under the clutches of Maya, thinking the Lord as an ordinary person, can understand that certain exalted personalities that are accumulating the volumes of pious activity are now playing with the Lord in friendship as a cowherd boy. Yeah, this is a statement by Sukadeva Goswami in 10.12.11, who's appreciated the good fortune of the cowherd boy who played with the Krishna and ate with him on the banks of Yamuna. So when Krishna was behaving like an ordinary child and playing, eating the remnants of stuff left by the gopis and gopas, So even if you come to Chennai, especially in the month of December 15 to January 15, there is the relationship between the gopis and Krishna. There's called Tirupavai, in Tamil Pasaram called Tirupavai, where the gopis are trying to wake up Krishna through different methods and everything. Finally, they succeed. And after succeeding, the gopis are asking, give me moksha. So Krishna is asking, what type of qualification you have to give you moksha? Because we have got, are you Vedic scholars? Or you did any devotional service or anything? Can you name anything so that I could give you moksha? Krishna was teasing the gopis. At the time, Andal says that we don't have any qualification. So, but we are asking for the ultimate mukti. So then Krishna says, okay, I will try to find out a reason how to give you mukti. Then Krishna says, okay, you are raising the cows. So raising the cows itself a qualification for giving you moksha. But Andal says, Andals and the gopis, 5 lakh gopis are saying, no, we raise the cow for our sustenance. Along with the cow, we used to drive buffaloes also, buffaloes and goats. So, but if the lotus dust of the cows from the calf, it is falling on us, we get moksha. To that extent, cows are so pious. So, but we are also raising the buffaloes and the goat. But if you smear the dust of the buffaloes and goats, you have to take bath. So we are not qualified in that way because we are going to the forest along with the cows and buffaloes and goats. So you cannot give moksha through that thing. Then he said that you are going to Vrindavan forest. He said, no, we would have gone to any forest because our thing is to drive these cattle into some forest. So it was happened to be Vrindavana. In that way also we are not very fortunate. So Andal trying to say that no, we don't have all these qualifications. He said we don't know the Vedas, we don't know whether to eat to the right hand or left hand. So we have got no acharas. So he said you cannot give moksha through those points. He said, so he says that we didn't have prasadam, we have only food. So because in Tamil they say that we so when we all come together, we are honoring the prasadam. No, we are not honoring the prasadam. We are we are only eating food. So in that way also you cannot give us moksha. So we are trying to find out so many ways through which Krishna was trying to give the gopis some sort of point to raise so that he can give the moksha. Finally, Andal says the only qualification we have is you are born into our Yadava community. That's all. So that is the qualification we have. But since you are born into our community, so we are eligible to go to moksha. That is the only thing we have. So that's how Andal concludes the relationship between the gopis and Krishna. So that is why here it is also said that they were playing with Krishna in the banks of Yamuna and also so they were fortunate because Krishna born into their community. Text number 76. Prabhu kahe yeha uttama आगे कहार राया कहे वत्सल प्रेम सर्व साध्य सार. The Lord said the statement is very good, but please proceed further. Ramananda Raya then replied, loving service to the Lord in the parental relationship is the highest perfection state. So more than fraternity, Sakya Bhava is the Vatsalya Bhava. Vatsalya Bhava is because the relationship is without any expectation. The mother serves the child and the child serves the mother without any expectation. Even in friendship, there will be a tinge of selfishness, could be there. Not necessarily always, that could be there. So he says that in the parental relationship, the mother serves the child without any expectation. That's how Yasodamai, all these people served Krishna, the utmost affection. Here he says, the stage of loving service to the Lord is parental affection is an advantage stage of love of fraternity. In this fraternal relationship, there is a sense of equality, but when sense of equality is advanced in affection, one attains the platform of parental love. In this connection, the following verse is cited from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.8.46, when Sukadeva Goswami voices his appreciation of Nanda Maharaja and Mother Yasoda intense love for Krishna. So the child, how possessive Yasoda might. When people said your son is the Lord himself, he says he's an ordinary boy with some sort of external power, that's all. But he has got he's my ordinary child, and Yasodamai never wanted to admit that Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. So that is the kind of Maya in which Yasodamaya was put by Krishna. Even while opening his mouth, only for a second he shows the entire world, and in a minute's time he hides everything from Yasodamaya, so that he wants to enjoy the relationship of paternity with Nanda Maharaja and Yasodamaya. That is what he is saying. So he says that he wants to hide all these things so that he will enjoy the utmost level of enjoyment in all these rasas. So in text number 77 it is said, Nandakim akrod brahman sheyavam mahodiyam yasodava mahabhaga apoyasna sthanam harihi. Ramanandaraya continued, O Brahmana, what pious activities did Nanda Maharaja perform by which he received the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his son? And what pious activity did Mother Yasoda perform that made the Absolute Personality of Godhead call her mother and suck the breast? So Ramanandaraya is saying here, what kind of austerity, what kind of penance Nanda Maharaja and Yasodamai must have done to have this sort of relationship. Even the relationship with Devaki and Vasudev is on a different footing. Although they gave birth to Krishna, the kind of love exhibited by Krishna towards Yasoda, Yasoda towards Krishna is on a different level. It is not on the same level of Devaki to Krishna. So because he was being brought up by Yasoda Mai, so she enjoyed the prime youth. Actually, normally when the child is born up to the age of 5, the child is as good as God. That's why the child does something, the karma goes only to the parents. That Andamane, we have a story heard, all those things. So when and they will be at their almost all as innocent as the Lord himself. So that's why many houses, if you see the 1 to 5, the child is pampered and everything. He has been, although he is so mischievous, parents love their mischievous child more than sort of a slow child or dumb child. But they want that children to do utmost naughtiness, so that even when gopis of Vrindavan were complaining to Yasodamai about the mischief committed by Krishna, although on a different surface level, they want Krishna to come and steal butter from their house, although they go and complain to Yasodamai. But Yasodamai every time defends the act of Krishna. She is blindly in love with Krishna, so she was feeling that Krishna would not have done that. The kind of relationship Yasodamai had with Krishna was something unimaginable. So that's why she very rarely chastised Krishna. The Damara lila also, once I was explaining to Doha devotees, when Yasodamai was trying to be, because it is out of context, but because I don't know who heard that, I don't know which chakra I gave that story. So at that time, Krishna says, I want to show some sort of fear in me so that Yasodamai will not beat me. So at the time he was wondering how to express fear, because he was not fearful of anybody in the world. So at the time there is a Devata called Bhayanasini. Only last week one of the proponents of Bhagavatam, very expert in Bhagavatam, he said there is a Devata called Bhaya Devata. Even some 20 years back, Mahavishnu Maharaj, somebody told about this Bhaya Devata. Then Bhaya Devata was called before Krishna. So Krishna was asking Bhaya Devata, show me how to be fearful. And Bharadeva was so afraid of to face Krishna, he was showing some sort of fear in his inner face. Immediately Krishna said, oh, this is called fear. Then he exhibit the same side of fear in front of Yasodamai, so that Yasodamai will not beat him. So that is the way the Bhairava. So this is although out of the context. Sometimes when we talk about scriptures, we cannot every step of this start questioning the preacher. Where from he had taken this story? Where from he had taken the story? These are not possible in scriptures because Guru Maharaj has given me only one instruction. When I started always asking initial stages, Vaigandra Guru, so many questions, volley of questions. Prabhu said, Prabhu, I am also new, you are also new. You are putting so many questions, and then Guru Maharaj was listening to our conversation. He said, see, you have to, when they have got a doubt, just cross over that doubt and proceed further. One day this doubt will be cleared. So let this doubt not be a stumbling block in your spiritual progress. So many a time that we come across some preacher, he must have referred from only ISKCON devotees have seen. Authoritative scriptures only we quote. So when he said that you have to cross over and one day your doubt will be cleared. So like yoga I was teaching, everybody asked me, sir, is there, you always say, talk about scripture. Is there any scripture where by breathing and breathing out your mind gets control? I was searching 11th canto Bhagavad gives, but Yoga Darshana is the scripture for yoga. And in that 54th verse says that by controlling your breath, you are controlling the mind. So this is I will try to forward that slogan to you. So it is from Yoga Darshan, one of the slogans. Then only after nearly 14 years of teaching, last year only I could come across this particular scriptural evidence where by controlling the air, you can control the mind also. So likewise we search for Vedic proof, but sometimes we will not be able to find something. So we should not be stuck in that particular point. So when a senior devotee or somebody says something, you cannot ask for every time evidence for that sort of statement he has made. Well, he must have quoted that from one of the sannyasis whom he must have heard, or through senior devotees whom he must have heard. Somewhere he must have read something of Prabhupada lectures and all. So not everything we remember, but sometimes when we hear certain things stuck to our mind and we repeat whatever we heard from our superiors. So especially, Krishna consciousness means when we don't, we never say we think. So Prabhupada also says, Guru Maharaj also says, when you say I think, that means you are concocting. So quote everything from the scriptures and get away with it. One day, everything will be proved. This is what they said. So this is out of context, I'm just referring. Because it says that mother, here it says what kind of fortune they must have committed that to have Krishna as their child. Here in text number 78, the favor Madhya obtained from Sri Krishna, the bestower of liberation, was never obtained even by Lord Brahma, nor Lord Shiva, nor even by goddess of fortune, who always remains on the chest of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. So you know that the Ras Lila dance, Lakshmi Devi has to stay outside the purview of the Vrindavan, when the Ras Lila was performed. So also the demigods were kept out of reach when the Ras Lila, because there is the mood only gopis could enjoy with Krishna. So there are certain levels of enjoyment which pertains only between the gopis and the Lord himself, because this is the highest of the mellow. That's why when Chaitanya Charitamrita Bhagavatam is read, why we insist on certain of the basic qualification to hear these scriptures, because for a mundane person, but all these things may look very trivial and very, not making a point to them. So that's why once you come to the level where you could really accept, because many of the scriptural things are only enjoyed. We cannot go question every step of the way, scientifically prove this, scientifically prove that, then we will never progress in spiritualism. So we have to cross over that boundary, because material and spiritual them are two different levels of enjoyment. So we have to accept what is said in the scriptures. The statement of Srimad Bhagavatam 10.9.20, Krishna agreed to be bound by the mother Yasoda after she had given up trying to bind Krishna and rope. This is another appreciation made by Sukadeva Goswami in the narration of Pastimes of Krishna before Maharaja Parikshit. So this is the Krishna Lila, which is Many people don't understand, that one, the two finger shot is once our effort and what you call Krishna's mercy. Many people ask, how do you say that Krishna's mercy is required in all sorts of endeavor? I always tell them, you work out 10 different things to be done in a day. Not all 10 things are done. Only 5 are, we are able to accomplish. 5, sometimes we fail. We are not able to achieve. I said, this is Krishna's mercy. I said, without Krishna's mercy, all the things, even these 5 things which has happened is only by Krishna's mercy. I used to tell them. So what we can only ahangara vimudana. I used to quote the slogan. So we think that we are doing. If you are doing everything, all the 10 things should have been done. But we are able to achieve only 5 things. The rest 5, Krishna has not given the sanction. So because of your fanatism in Krishna consciousness, everything you attribute to Krishna, which some people agree, many people don't agree because they said, how Krishna's mercy, I have seen that mercy. Well, only we can feel the mercy of the Lord. We cannot try to explain people who are not atheistic. We are people not in an advanced level. So this is where Sukadeva Goswami is trying to explain to Parishit how Yasoda was able to bind Krishna because Krishna agreed to be bound. Because that is the thing. This is one sloka where if you go to Bhagam, then you will understand. Without Krishna's sanction, Krishna ka bina ek patta bhi nahi hilta hai. That doesn't mean Krishna goes and shakes all the leaves. That I used to tell them jokingly in my yoga class. So that's why Krishna it is Sankalpa Sakti. Because that also sometimes, what is Sankalpa Sakti? People ask, by the glance he creates the world. So I used to explain a simple, one of my friends explained to me how Sankalpa Sakti works. He said we are climbing down the staircase. Sometimes when we are specs, we have got a parallax error. Instead of thinking that one more step, we may slip and fall down. But Krishna's Sankalpa Sakti is that when Krishna thinks there is a step there, the step will automatically form there. That is not the Sankalpa Sakti of Krishna, because it cannot be explained by ordinary, it cannot be explaining all these things spiritually, but sometimes materially, sometimes some illustration is given, then we understand, how Krishna's, although he is impersonal, he is present everywhere. This also, then when we sign a check and person takes it to the bank, we want to encash, we are not there, only our signature is there, which carries the value of us, through the signature. That means it is impersonal. Although I am not present, the check is encashed. Likewise, there are certain material examples we should also try to find out to convince people about how Krishna's mercy works on people. So here also, the Damodar Lila, Krishna's mercy works like magic for Yasoda Mai. So here, text number 79, Prabhu kahe yeh uttama, aage kahara, Raya kahe kanta prema, sarva sadhya sara. The Lord said, your statements are certainly getting better and better, one after another, but surpassing all of them is another transcendental mellow, and you can speak as the most sublime. Ramananda replied, conjugal attachment for Krishna is the topmost position in love of Godhead. So the relationship with Krishna and us is under conjugal love. So I used to ask my Guru Maharaj, so what kind of mellows we will fit in? He said everything has got a different level of bhakti. He said, I don't know what kind of level you will fit in. So whatever level you fit in, everything is high in the highest platform. Although conjugal level is considered to be the highest in among love, but if you are not cut into that, shaped into that particular love, you can worship him in a Dasya Bhava, a Sakya Bhava, or Vatsalya Bhava, any Bhava which you fit in, you have to abide by that, and you should go by that. I am not able to get the conjugal love like the gopis and gopas. You will be stuck there, and you will not even relish it, because Guru Maharaj used to say, whatever things you do, you should do it with heart's content. If you are satisfied, okay, I fit into the Dasya Baba with Krishna, then you should fit into that life, into that sort of group, not searching for, you may not be able to go higher in the love of fraternity or Vatsalya Baba or conjugal love and all. So we have to follow that particular thing vehemently and meticulously. The same thing will be revealed to you in that particular mood also, in the Dasya Bhava also. So that is our outlook actually. So he has said, the general love of Godhead is devoid of intimacy of ownership. In the case of love in servitude and is a want of confidence. there is a want of increased affection in the fraternal relationship, and in the affection of increased parental love, there is a nonetheless a want of complete freedom. However, when the one becomes the conjugal love of Krishna, everything lacking in the other relationship is completely manifest love of Godhead and nothing in conjugal stage. So here all these taboos are broken. In if you say servitor attitude, you need got to have confidence. In the fraternity relationship, you have a we have a little this one increased affection with fragment fraternal relationship, and even when this affection increases in the parental relationship, there is a nonetheless a want of complete freedom. The third level is complete freedom is required in the fraternal. We want increased affection. So this affection is not enough. First is confidence. Second is increased affection. Third is the complete freedom. These taboos are removed in conjugal love. Conjugal love has got no taboos. So it is free actually, and then it is devoid of any impediments. So that is why conjugal love is considered to be the highest in Bhava. A summary of this verse in the parental love of God is certainly higher than the fraternal love, and conjugal love is higher than, conjugal is the highest. It was then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested Ramananda Ravaya to go further, and he came to the point of conjugal relationship, which is the highest perfection stage of transcendental love. So we are this one concludes that conjugal love is the highest. In text number 80, that I think we'll finish it with this particular. When Krishna is dancing with the gopis in the Rasa Lila, the gopis were embraced around the neck of the Lord's arms. This transcendental favor was never bestowed upon the goddess of fortune or other concepts in the spiritual world. Nor was such thing ever imagined by the most beautiful girls in the heavenly planets, girls whose bodily luster and aroma resemble beauty and fragrance, lotus flowers. So when what to speak of worldly women who may very, very beautiful according to material estimation. So here in the purport, Prabhupada writes, about Bhagavatam 10.7.460 was spoken by Uddhava when visited Vrindavan to deliver the message from Krishna to gopis. Uddhava remained in Vrindavana to observe the activities of the gopis there. When he saw the ecstatic love of Krishna in separation manifest by the gopis, he appreciated the supreme love and therefore expressed his feelings to his words. He admitted that the fortune of the gopis could not be compared even with the fortune of goddess of fortune, to say nothing of the beautiful girls in the heavenly planets. So that Viragadapa is something which is the highest of love, because they were more loving Krishna in their absence, because their heart, although they were physically present in Vrindavan, their heart goes out for Krishna. Their heart is living in Dwaraka. That's how Uddhava felt that this kind of love I could have never imagined. Even Lakshmi Devi asked her, she is, although she is in the servitor attitude to Lord Narayana or Vishnu or Krishna, but the sort of relationship with gopis and Krishna is something at the highest level. That's why he says that this has got no limit and nothing, and even I cannot even understand this, because this is beyond. That's why Uddhava was sent to Vrindavan by Krishna to understand the relation, because even Uddhava was wondering what kind of relationship Krishna had with all these gopis in Vrindavan. Let me go and see. Let me go and advise them that they are trying to pacify the gopis. You have to accept Krishna's departure, and he has meant for the entire world, not for only for Vrindavan. He has got a mission to accomplish and all. But nevertheless, all the gopis never agreed. They were calling him by names, but it is only on the lip service. I mean, on the lip level, but in the heart of heart, people have got so much affection for Krishna. So in story, we must have heard all the time when Narada wanted to test the love of the gopis to Krishna, Krishna said, go and tell them that I have got headache. If they give the dust from the lotus feet of them, then my headache will be cured. When Narada Muni asked the gopis that this will cure his permanent headache, immediately all of them brought a sort of a cloth where they put the lotus dust of their feet, and they said, take it and apply it on the head of the Lord. Even we go to hell, we don't mind. As long as Krishna's headache is cured, that is what the highest sort of love gopis expressed to Narada. Then Narada was wondering, oh, this is the highest. People don't even care whether they go to Naraka or anything, they want Krishna's head. So this is the highest perfection of love of Godhead. So this is how here it is explained. Even Lakshmi Devi cannot understand what kind of relationship Gopis and Krishna had. That's why Uddhava said that this is something beyond my capacity to understand the love of Gopis to Krishna and Krishna to Gopi. Although they were separated by distance, but their heart is always goes for Krishna, and they live with Krishna all the time. So this is kind of conclusion Uddhava draws through their engagement with the Gopis in Vrindavan. This is what he expresses Krishna, that this I could not understand because this love I never seen in my entire life. That what Uddhava tells Krishna at the time. So here he said, suddenly due to the feeling of separation, Lord Krishna appeared among the Gopis dressed in yellow garment and wearing a flower garland. His lotus face was smiling and he was directly attracting their mind of Cupid. This was Srimad Bhagavatam 10.32.2, where the Rasa dance was going on. Krishna suddenly disappeared and the Gopis became overwhelmed due to separation and their intense love for him. That Krishna obliged to appear again. So when Krishna disappeared, the Rasa explained all these things. You must have heard a lot of stories about it. Then Krishna vanished for a while. You could understand the separation of the Gopis. At the time he was present there. He said, if we don't appear in a woman's time, they will all die of heart attack because of my separation. Immediately, Krishna appears before them to pacify them. So this is a kind of relationship for a fraction of a second also. The Gopis doesn't want to get separated from Krishna. But why he goes to Dwaraka is that he wanted to increase the Viraga Bhava to the whole world. What is the love never is lost, even because we say out of sight, out of mind. But in that is in material world. In spiritual world, even you are millions of miles away from the Lord, he is sitting in Vaikuntha Loka or Goloka, wherever he is. You love him as much as he is present in our house. Aniraniyo Bhagato Mahiyam. Whether he is so kind enough to sit on our altar and this tiny Krishna, but we treat him as if he is in Vaikuntha Loka, because a pure devotee of the Lord never think the Lord is to be a photo or the 9 types of different worship. We don't want to go into detail, but they think that Krishna is with us. That's the sort of thing. I don't know. In 20 years of my wife, people ask why the deity worship has to be done at least once a week. We have to give Abhishekam to the Lord. Why we have to have a personal touch with the Lord? Because we are not impersonal. We are devotees are very, very personal. So by treating, I don't know, this is a light sort of insight into my. It is not a very elevated stage, but it is maybe in the initial stage. I love my deities so much, I cannot be separated from them more than 2-3 days like that sort of thing. Because of my 25 years of my little service to the Lord, I developed, because when I am late for the morning milk, Krishna cries, where is my milk? At 4:15 he wants his, Laddu Gopal wants his milk. At 5:30 he wants his full bhog, whatever I make 4 or 5 items. And Jagannath is also there, so they are Mahapriya. All these people are waiting for the food to be offered. To that extent, we develop a lot of one-to-one relation with our deities, especially our deities, because many people brag that my deity is so special like that. They have got a possessiveness. I think in spiritual world, that possessiveness is good, I believe. I don't know whether I am right or wrong. So likewise, sometimes they were saying that your wife gone, your children are married and gone, and you are all alone. I said, no, my Krishna is with me. It is spontaneously I say that. I said, where is my Krishna calling? We want to see. I said, this is where he is sitting on the altar. He is my friend, philosopher, guide, father, mother, everything, my wife, everything. So they don't understand how a deity can be all these things. Then because the relationship we develop with the deity over a period of time, it is, and these are all cannot be, these are adrishta. Because in yoga also there is a drishta and adrishta. Pranayama is adrishta, but it works. Likewise, I said, this is in the adrishta platform where only the devotee and the Lord can understand the relationship, and appreciate it. I used to tell them. So my Krishna is with me. I never feel, Prabhu, I am not, Mataji, I am not exaggerating a bit, because when I come back home, because sometimes when you come back home, I'm not talking about Grahameti, I'm talking about a Grahastha. When he's a Krishna conscious person, when he goes back home, when the altar is there, you feel that you are associating directly with your family member. This sort of all relationship with Krishna. But that sort of thing comes into play. That's why, thanks to Prabhupada, thanks to Guru Maharaj, our regular, not a single day we give off to our deities, whenever we are with him, we give service right from morning till night. So we never get bored in the first place. We never go into depression. Depression is not a word in my dictionary. I used to tell my 4 cousins, we are all widowers. They lost their wives. They are not able to run their family. They don't have any spiritual ruchi, no spiritual ruchi, because they are also born into Shiva Vaishnava, so-called the highest level Brahmin caste, whatever you call it as. They cannot take up life because without their spouse present, they are not able to run the life. And 2 of them already gone into Alzheimer problem because of their mental depression. For me, those such things, because we associate with the Lord in the deity form, we associate with Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, so many books of Srila Prabhupada, so many things we associate. Naturally, we have got no time to waste actually. You know, I finished Bhagavatam last year after 25 years of my this one 12 canto of 18 books I finished only last year. Now I want to somehow finish Chaitanya Charitamrita and the lila also, but I don't know what is stored for me by the Lord. So it is whatever he decides, I will accept. For me, it doesn't matter. So that is what I feel. When you read, thanks to Ramana, I should not praise him in front of his face, but unfortunately, he has exposed me to, when he told me to take the first class in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I have taken a couple of classes in Qatar. I was not very comfortable, but because since it's a spiritual topic, I said, okay, let me start with the class. But once I started giving a class and when I started reading, somehow I developed love for Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now I want to finish this Chaitanya Charitamrita before I leave the body. This is my only spiritual wish, actually. I don't know whether it is correct or right or wrong, I don't know. But this is what I want in my life, because this is something nectarian. Every time you touch the book, more than I should not compare books, and more than I touch my Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, when I touch my Chaitanya Charitamrita to read, I get a different kind of, I don't want to exaggerate, I get a different kind of mood. You know, that's why this Krishna Raj Kaviraj Goswami in many places say, whether you like it or not, please continue reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. This will purify you, because these are all Adrishta platform. A day will come, you will definitely relish every step of, every word of Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is what I experience in my life. So hopefully, you know, this should continue and I should be able to complete it, Lord willing only. Because I'm already 73, I'm ready to depart any time, and that doesn't matter for me. But my only wish is if I could complete this the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita, I will be quite happy and I will be thankful to the Lord, thankful to my gurus and senior devotees. The last sloka, I read out the translation only. This too, what a relationship particular devotee has within the Lord is the best for him. Still, when we study all the different methods from a neutral position, we can understand that there are higher and lower degrees of love. So this is the conclusion, because there is everywhere there is wherever you go to the world, there is something Uttama, Madhyama and Kanishta. Everywhere, devotional service, yoga, or any sort of form of sports, nothing is on the same level. So spiritualism is something very, very higher than our material level of thinking. So even in the material world, like one of my local Vedic scholars said, even among other species of life, not only human, Madhyama, Uttama, Madhyama, and Kanishta, even among trees, he said, there are some fruits, some trees which you water, it will reward you. There are some trees where even if you water, they will not reward you. There are some trees which rewards you even without asking. Like a mode of goodness, like Uttama Adhikari is something, even without asking, they help us. And Madhyama Adhikari, where if you help him, he will help us out. And Kanishta Adhikari, even if you help him, they are not going to reciprocate. So likewise, that aquatics analyst started comparing all these things, that there are different levels of 8.4 million species of, or also there is a classification there. There is nothing in the world has got on the similar footing. So everything has got a level of revealing their mode of goodness, passion or ignorance, or Uttama, Kanishta Adhikari. So Lord has created everything, even among love, the highest of love of Godhead, the medium level of Godhead, and the lowest level of Godhead. Everything is on a different footing. So here we should understand that Chaitanya Charitamrita deals with the different levels of devotees, which we, different kinds of mellows, different kinds of devotees whom I come across, whom we can learn from, whom we can we can give them some imbibe some knowledge, and sometimes we also receive knowledge from them. So three different levels of devotees are there. So whoever is suitable for us, please always associate with all the three levels of devotees, so that whether we get knowledge or whether we give knowledge or we always are the sharing of the knowledge, we have to understand that this is a platform where everything is has got meaning into it. Every action you do has got a meaning to it. So kindly, associate with devotees. Chaitanya Charitamrita class. You have to, although initially it was, I should not say drab or anything. Initially it was not so interesting. Now it's almost 2 years into reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are able to release the pastimes of the Lord, pastimes of the devotees of the Lord. The way in which the Krishna Rai Kaviraj Goswami is presenting the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Prabhupada's wonderful purport, and Guru Maharaj classes on this, is an authority on Chaitanya Charitamrita. So it gives us a lot of rasas, lot of enjoyment for reading. So kindly don't give up reading at any point of time. Sometimes it will be we go to low, high, and up. So, but please continue reading Chaitanya Charitamrita for our own purification, nothing else. Hare Krishna. Sorry, I have taken more time than expected. I think it's only 45 minutes class. I have taken more than that. Kindly forgive me for that. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for a wonderful nectar, and also as usual, always you touch base the practical tips, the application part. That is the fantastic part of your class. Is always that you conclude with the practical application, how to apply the principles of Chaitanya Charitamrita in our devotional life. The one point which you were told towards the end, that is in Krishna consciousnness, there is no depression, no stress. Very practical it is. That actually one who simply does dual practice, they will definitely understand this. Because why there is no stress, why there is no depression? Because we are not doing it for us. We are doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. So when we are doing it for the pleasure of Krishna, there is no kind of attachment or expectation for us. So that leads to a very stressless life, no depression at all. Because nothing, depression comes only when we have expectation. Because here we have no expectation, but our expectation is always to please Krishna, which automatically happens. Very nice point, Roy. This really gives a lot of inspiration for practicing devotees to take this process of Krishna consciousness more seriously. Thank you very much. Prabhu, I have three questions. Time permits. Uh, Before that, I will request other devotees if have any questions, comments. Most I want to hear from them. If there are time permits, then I'll ask. Devotees, do you have any questions or comments? Okay.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna Prabhuji.
yeah, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, please.
Prabhuji, thank you for nice class. I have one question. So when devotee doing the spiritual practice can understand the relationship with the Krishna, because I heard some say when one comes to the Nishtha stage, so he establish the relationship in particular ras. And some say when one comes to the Bhava stage, he establishes some relationship with the Lord. So can you, Prabhuji, tell about it?
Prabhu, can you repeat the question? Because when
We have 9 stages of bhakti.
okay,
So in which stage one establish his relationship with Krishna? That's your Sakya, like that. Whether it is Nishtha stage or Bhava stage.
Prabhu, Nishtha is these are all the steps to the final thing, Prema Bhava. So, but without any nishta, then ruchi will not come to you. Then asakti, these are all steps where, we'll develop the last stage of prema bhakti. Nothing is going to happen overnight, Prabhu. That's why these 9 steps are given step by step. First is Shraddha is most important. If you go to a spiritual class without not even 5% Shraddha, you are not going to enjoy the mellows of that particular class, Prabhu. So we have to have this, in a very, that's why Veda is called Kramapanta. Kramapanta is stage by stage enjoyment, So, Anattanivritti in the fourth level only we have to weed out. So then only you become steady. After that, you get taste. Taste is then for attachment towards everything is not going to take you to Bhava stage. Once you leave up attachment, then you go to Bhava, and Bhava culminates in Prema. So every step has to be progressive, and you cannot jump from Shraddha stage to Prema stage. This is very rarely devotees could achieve. There are stories in Mahabharata and Ramayana where people jump from like Valmiki, although he was a hunter, from where he gone into a greatest level of writing Ramayana. But this it's a very rare case. But this for a devotee, these 9 steps are essential to reach the prema stage, Prabhu. So we cannot jump from one stage unless you develop you cannot study. You are doing 1 day arati, 2 days you are skipping it. Then naturally you will not skip. You will not develop ruchi. I always tell the yogic people, sir, 1 week you come for yoga. If you don't like it, or if where you feel some sort of the time could be spent usefully in somewhere else, please go there. Sir, you don't want practitioners here? No, Prabhu. I want only 10 people or 15 people or 20 people who are got studying their performance. Come 1 day, 3 days skipping yoga. All these things will not work out because you will not develop any sort of progress. Because Swamiji also says, Ramdev Baba, if you like eating, sleeping, you have to do yoga on a daily basis. 365 days you have got class, Prabhu, in the park we are doing. So, even if you miss out on a day, in a day is okay. But if you are going to visit regularly, then you will not be able to progress in yoga also. Like yoga is maybe 50% physical, 50% mental. But even there, that involvement has to be like Tailadhara, it has to be continuous. So all these steps, 9 steps, 8 steps should be followed to achieve the 9th stage, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Welcome, Prabhuji.
Probably if I understand Vishnu Prabhu's question correctly, what I think he was asking was that Vishnu Prabhu, correct me if I'm wrong. We have Shanta Dasi Vatsalya Madhuri Rasas,
Yeah.
and maybe Prabhu's question was that which stage or bhakti we develop a particular mood, whether we are Dasya, because we heard today's discussion, Ramananda was explaining different levels. He said first Sakya, the Dasya, Sakya, then Vatsalya, finally he went to Madhurya. Maybe Prabhu's question was that, maybe this was also one of my doubt, was that which level of our bhakti, we get to know which rasa we are developing relationship with the Lord. Is that right?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Yeah, Prabhu, what I heard from Guru Maharaj is very difficult to decide being a guru of Guru Maharaj of wide vision and everything. He told me clearly, see, I cannot understand your mood, So you have to fit into one of the 5 rasas. All rasas, according to the individuals, are released. If I am in a Dasya Baba, I will not be able to enjoy the conjugal love of gopis. I will not be, because I'm not cut out for that. Gopis, the very moment, very second Krishna disappeared, Krishna could understand these people, heart will burst out of Bharatagraja. Immediately reappeared, So that is the kind of, they had Narada Muni, in his first birth, Krishna says, this is not the time I'm going to reveal myself to you because you are not in the mood to understand me. So you take one more birth, at that time I will reveal to you. So even Narada Muni, who was an advanced, the very meaning of bhakti is Narada Muni. So, but even Krishna says, you are in a different level now. I cannot show my this one. Although he has shown first, then he said, now I cannot show because you have to take one more birth to attain me. So there is even when Narada Muni has been given that sort of understanding. So we are in a different Velos Prabhu. Not everybody could fit into Gopi Bhav. Gopi Bhav is something of the highest standard. You know, there was a Alvar in this Pralavas. Mundu 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 Tillu Methalayum Ellam Krishna. He said that whatever I eat, whatever I do, everything is Krishna. That kind of Baba Namadwar was in. So for him, everything, when he sees like Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sees a black cloud, he thinks of Krishna. We never get into this sort of mood, Prabhu. When rain comes, we don't never think of Govardhana Lila or something. We don't relate that particular incident with the Krishna. But probably in a 24 hours a day, how much hour we spend with Krishna on a mental platform is very difficult to access. We understand. So any level, he says, you fit into one the 5 mellows. Whatever suits you, you follow that mellow, he said. So this is the instruction given by Guru Maharaj to me. So for me, I treat, I serve Krishna. So I think that I'm in a Dasya Baba with Krishna and I'm quite comfortable with him. So that is because I'm not high aspiring for higher love. Maybe I will not be able to give because even for my own children, I am not given proper attention when they were studying. They were in Doha. Only my wife was taking care of them. The kind of relationship my children had with my wife was much more closer than me. So I thought that I don't fit into that particular what you call Vatsalya Baba. So friendship is something. Arjuna's level is something different. Uddhava's level is different. So Gopi's level, of course, I've spoken. Gopi's level are in a different plane. So when I fit into Dasya Baba, that is, I continue serving the Lord with my utmost what you call sincerity and utmost attention to my capacity. Yatha Sakti Sada Karyam, that's what Veda says. To the extent I could serve the Lord, I am doing it to my capacity. So that is also a limitation there. So my capacity is limited. I am giving the service to the extent I could give. And this is what I fit in. So probably Prabhu, if I cannot, when Guru Maharaj himself has told me this is the answer for your this one, you have to decide by yourself. So I am not in a position to tell Prabhu that this is the sort of thing you follow. That is what I think. I don't know whether this will satisfy Prabhu or not, I don't know. But this is the answer I could only give. And I could give only to my understanding.
Very clear. Coming back to my question, Prabhu. The beginning of the class, you talked that Andal, the festival which you are doing in December, January in Chennai.
Yeah.
So there Prabhu, you mentioned the whole conversation between the gopis and Krishna about giving liberation, giving mukti. But at the end, we heard that, or we understand that what gopis are told, Krishna can give mukti to them only because they belong to that particular community.
Yeah.
Not because Krishna tried to give, or because we understand that Krishna's, we get liberated only because causeless with Krishna. So
Yeah.
it is not about any specific reason. We are not qualified. Though the gopis have tried to explain, okay, whatever they are doing is not for the pleasure of Krishna. It is they are not eating kadam, they are eating only food.
Yeah.
So at the end, the mercy is causeless mercy. Now, the different answer we today was that because they belong to the community. So again, it becomes like a in this material world, we always say that this brahmanas by birth, they may not be real brahmanas. So again, here we are talking about a community birth. How to understand this, Prabhu? Because we say nothing should be based on our birth, but by the qualities we develop because the practice what we are doing. So how to understand this, Prabhu? It is a bit contradictory.
Yeah. Prabhu, actually, the word casta came from Spanish word. There is no caste system in Sanatana Dharma. First, we should understand. So I'm talking about community means I don't want to use the caste, same caste. I want to use the community. Where, Yadava community is a community where, they raise the cows and everything. So there is a community where Krishna wants to be born so that he can, that is sort of mood he wants to born into that community so that he can associate with gopis. So that is the thing Krishna wanted, So likewise, except the 4 varnas and ashrama, we don't have any caste system. I always tell people, there is no caste system in Sanatana Dharma. It's only the varnas. So how you fit in Kali Yuga, you fit into the Guna Karma Vibhaga Sakha, that one very straight explanation I used to give the, my other religious people in Chennai also. I said, I always tell them we have only 4 varnashrama according to their action. I born into the Brahmana family. My father thought I will get only 4 annas, 8 annas as Dakshina. So I want my son to be very affluent because he was thinking that my material, because although he was a Sri Vaishnava, I should not blame my father for that. But he was a practicing Vaishnava to his capacity at the time. I would not say that, no, so I should not criticize my father for what he had done to me. So he told me that you better go for, you get educated and go for job. So naturally I became a Sudra Prabhu, undoubtedly. There is no 2 ways about it. After coming into Krishna consciousness, I developed some sort of taste for spiritual things, and I got into Krishna consciousness. So whether I am a Vaishnava or a practicing, like Guru Maharaj says, there are Vaishnavas, but there are very few practicing Vaishnavas. So at least in Krishna consciousness, we are practicing Vaishnavas. I'm an aspiring devotee. Are you a devotee? No, I'm an aspiring devotee. Okay, so I have elevated myself from the labor class to an aspiring devotee. So this is my present state. So many people call me one fellow asked for alms 2 months back that can you give some money for me? I said, why? Because I want to go for a pilgrimage. I want to take money from a Brahmin. He said, how do you decide I'm a Brahmin? He said, you look like a Brahmin. I said, no, I am not a Brahmin. I am a Brahmana Bandhu. He said, what is a Brahmana Bandhu? I said, I am a friend of a Brahmana. He said, how do you explain Brahmana Bandhu? I said, if you have got a doctor friend, his son is not a doctor, will you get operated through him? He said, no. Likewise, I know I may be, my father was a Brahmin, I am not a practicing Brahmana. So I am not a Brahmin, I am a friend of a Brahmana. Then he said, this fellow is crazy, and he said that some sign, and he said, move out from me. He didn't ask for alms. So likewise, when I don't see, Prabhu, because although I so-called Brahmin community, none of my cousins are fasting for Ekadasi. Only one cousin is practicing, and he will say, when your Ekadasi falls, let me know. Because this time, that Sri Vaishnava Ekadasi fell one day earlier than Gaudiya Vaishnava Ekadasi. So I told him, for us, Ekadasi is on this day, and your Ekadasi on Wednesday. He said, no, I will follow only your Ekadasi because you are doing it in a meticulous way. So let me follow your Ekadasi only. And none of my cousins, when we went for the marriage, it was a Ekadasi day for them. All of them had everything, including onion. So to that extent, they are Sri Vaishnavas, not practicing anything, Prabhu. So how do you call them Brahmins by any way? And they say that I put Changa Chakra. Then Velukudi Swami, one of the leading preachers in Chennai, told in one of the lectures, suppose if you put Changa Chakra in your shoulder, when Yamaraja comes, when you see the Changa Chakra, you just leave it and Vishnu Duda take you to Vaikuntha Loka. This is farce. If you are not following the instruction of your guru, if you are taking onion, garlic and everything, then your spiritual master is not duty bound to take you to Vaikuntha Loka. But you have not followed his instruction. So you have to take many more verse to become a pure Vaishnava and go back to Vaikuntha Loka. This is what he said. I recorded thing and showed it to all my cousins. All my cousins. These people are thinking that just putting chakra and sangha, you can do whatever nonsense you can do and still get away with it. This is your preacher is telling. Then now they understood that, oh, by being born into a Brahmana family, not a practicing Brahmana, then they don't fit into the system, Prabhu. It's not a caste system, it's a Varnashrama system. Again, we should not, I don't want to use the word caste. Fit into the caste means it is not a Brahmana caste, it is a Varnashrama system. This is how I explain to people here, So even my wife used to say in Qatar, you are chastising Brahmana left, right, and center in the class. This is not good. When there are some 2-3 Brahmanas coming into the class, they will go away. I said, no problem, because my understanding is of Brahmana is only this. So I will preach only to the extent I understand. So all of them stayed back. That's not, but they also started following my instruction. So that's why the system in Kali Yuga is not based on birth only, Prabhu. It's how you practice. Practicing Vaishnava is like Guru Maharaj said, practicing Vaishnava is very rare to find, Prabhuji. So this is what we have to follow. So if you are Vaishya, we don't, good Kshatriyas are not there, good Vaishyas are there, even Sudras are not there. They have to do Shishushuja to the master. That means without expectation. How many servants are serving the master meticulously? Nobody. So even that 4 Varnashrama is totally extinct. So people belong to the 5th class like Prabhupada, Chandala community only. From Chandala, they are becoming aspiring devotees. That's, I would say that like that. I don't even belong to Sudra caste. I would say I belong to Chandala class. I'm trying to become Krishna consciousness through the instruction of my spiritual master and my Siksha gurus. So I'm trying to become a practice, aspiring Vaishnava. That's all. That is what I answered all the people.
Thank you very much. Very, very clear. Thanks for the clarifying. So any other devotees have questions before we end the class? And I'd like to thank Grace Radhapati Shyamdas Prabhu for his courtesy for joining us today. Thank you, Radhapati Shyamdas Prabhu, and thank you, Shyamsundar Das Prabhu, for your gracious presence in this.
Shyam Sundar Prabhu is giving a great support to me for Chaitanya Charitamrita class, really. And we have included also Parama Pavana Prabhu into the class, and he is also taking a nice class now. So thanks to you, Prabhu, in the first place. I told you several times that I should not praise in front of praise, but you are also an inspiration for starting this class for in our cell rather. So anyway, it is a catalyst for us. So people are taking nice classes now. Prabhu is taking nice class. So also Parama Pavana Prabhu. I am trying to do my best because I am also a novice to Chaitanya Charitamrita. So whatever I read, I just try to convey my to my capacity and convey it.
Sure. Because you have been inspiration for all of us for decades in Krishna Katha. So whatever we are, little service we are able to do. I don't think we are. I'm doing any service, but whatever it is happening because of your causeless mercy, Prabhu. That is from core of our heart we are saying. Please keep bestowing your mercy upon us so that we continue the service.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks, Prabhuji. Chaitanya Krishna Katha devotees ki jai. All Gulf devotees ka jai. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Next week we will continue the session. Shyamsundar Das Prabhu will continue the session next Saturday. So it is a legacy. Siksha Guru is handing over to his Siksha disciple. So Prabhu will continue from where you stopped today. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you very much for accepting our service.
We will try, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So